Welcome. Thumbnail.
Terrifying.
Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a Chatty with Mrs. M video. Now, you guys always like these, or at least some of you do. Some of you might hate them, but you know, you're lost. Some of you guys always like these. I've noticed that when content creators say, you guys always love what I do, and I'm like, did everyone love it? Anyway.
No.
These are genuinely,
Most of the people
genuinely.
who don't love it, just click off.
Yes, these are generally well received. When Caroline and I sit down and start talking guff together, it's generally well received.
Yes.
So, Caroline went to AI to help with this video, didn't you? Now, I don't understand AI. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a Luddite.
To be fair,
I don't really get it.
only because William set me up on it. But I love it now. I use it for all sorts of stuff.
So
it's
you can
very,
ask
very useful.
ChatGPT to do things for you.
Yes.
Like not build your house or whatever, I don't think yet, but you know.
No, but stuff like set me an itinerary for 3 days in New York. I'm staying in such and such an area, and I would like to see. You could just garble at it. It's just that much more intuitive than Google. So good, so good. And helping with discussion points for videos and thumbnail ideas and all sorts of stuff to do with YouTube.
I'll have to get you to show me. So she asked ChatGPT for some questions, some discussion subjects that could spark humorous replies.
10 interesting discussion questions about life that can have humorous answers.
We've got 5 for my channel, 5 for Caroline's channel. So
Just
whichever one you see first, make sure you pop over there and watch the other one. Okay.
Question 1. If
Question
you could
1.
choose any age to be forever, what age would it be and why?
Is this an age that I already have been, do you think? Or I've got
No, you could just
nobody's
choose an
going to choose
age.
95, are they? You wouldn't want to get to 95 and get stuck.
On the assumption that you might not reach that age.
But you know what I mean?
Not
Imagine if you
personally.
went, I want to be 95 forever, and then you discovered that at 95 you were wetting yourself constantly and losing your teeth. You'd be like, well, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
nobody's going to choose 95.
No,
yeah.
so presumably I'm looking back at my own timeline and going, which was the best bit? And I think probably...
Before you had too many responsibilities and before you were too tired to do stuff.
I had my first child at 17.
God, yeah.
I had responsibilities quite early on.
Double that. Well, not quite double that. 31 when I had Will.
I think actually early 30s was my peak. I think I peaked in my early 30s. Been plummeting downhill ever since. I think I enjoyed my early 30s. I knew who I was. I was my children, because I'd had my children younger. Anthony, by the time I hit 30, Anthony was already 13. Natalie was 8, so they were a bit more independent. You know, you could leave the room and not come back and discover they'd pulled the bookshelf over on themselves and stuff like that. You know, they were old enough that you could go to the loo.
Often?
You know what I mean, though.
Yes, I do.
You can't leave the room with toddlers, can you? Because you can leave the room for a split
absolutely.
second with toddlers, and you come back and they burn the house down. So you know, they'd reached an age where they were a little bit more independent. They were at school during the day.
Yeah.
So you knew where they were. You didn't have to worry about where they were, and I had a little bit of freedom, and I think that was my peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Whereas then, as I got older, more responsibilities came in. Although the children don't need looking after anymore, your parents get older, and so I spent the last 10 years looking after parents. Really, first my dad, and then when my dad. I use the word died. Other people don't
I use
like
the
it.
word died,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, when my dad died, my mum became more reliant upon me.
Side note, can we do a side note?
Yeah.
There
Side
was
quest.
a post in Spotted, you know, the Spotted page on Facebook where you live, the local Spotted page on Facebook. Someone was advertising a meeting of a group called Death Cafe, and I was mildly interested in it because I thought that's a bold name. And I looked it up, and it's a worldwide movement apparently to open conversation about death because it's seen that death is the last taboo, which I quite agree with actually, but I think death isn't something that people find easy to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's the name death is deliberate because it's sort of facing it head on. So, and the amount of people on the local Spotted page who were offended, I mean, most of them were offended by most of the posts on there, but so offended by the word death. This should not be allowed, and I find it very bizarre. I always use the word died. I don't like. I don't think I've ever said my dad passed away.
2 things unavoidable in life, they say, don't they? Death and taxes.
Yes, absolutely. So that was a bit of Roddy Corbett, wasn't it?
But I digress. So yeah, I think if I could stick to, I'd go back to my early 30s and stay there forever.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I really would love to relive my years at sea. I really enjoyed working at sea, and I think, mind you, I'd have to stay it forever.
You were a pirate, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a pirate. Yeah. Worked on cruise ships. I wonder if, but you wouldn't want to do it forever, would you? I don't know.
And if you're
what
staying the same
would
age,
be.
maybe you would want to do it forever.
Do you know what? Maybe 18. Maybe 18.
Were you 18 when you worked on
I
the
left
cruise ship?
home. No, left home. Went to Polytechnic. They call it university now, but it was Polytechnic. I had great 2 years, and it was striking out in life by yourself for the first time, not living at home anymore, having a bit of independence, not having that much responsibility. You had to turn up for a few lectures once a week or so. The government paid for you to go to university. You got a grant. Oh, the good old days.
Nobody's saying to you, shouldn't you be in bed?
No. So yes, 18. I'll go be 18. I think that's good. Yeah. Right.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes.
Which age you would like to go back to and stay at if possible.
And why?
And if you say 95, I'd love to know why. What's the next one?
What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
I think I'd probably rob a bank. I think I'd probably rob a bank. I think I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thing about, would you go and listen to conversations about yourself? Absolutely not. No thanks.
Oh, God, no.
It's a terrible idea.
No. What does they say? An eavesdropper never hears good of himself or something.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah, I
it?
think I'd probably rob a bank.
Yeah.
I think it's the ideal opportunity, isn't it?
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of...
Yeah. You've only got one day, haven't you? So you can't go, oh, well, I'm going to get on a
But that would
round the
give you...
world cruise or whatever and do that for free.
That would also give you the money to enjoy for the long time, wouldn't it? So it would be investing in your future.
If I'm invisible and I grab a load of money from the bank, does the money become invisible as soon as I touch it? Or is the money just floating out of the bank doorway?
Just floating out the bank doorway. I think everybody would be so gobsmacked they wouldn't do anything about it.
What about you? Are you robbing banks with me or have you got another plan?
Do you know what? I think I'm robbing banks with you.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was thinking go and spend the day on a really expensive yacht, maybe, but
But once you rob the bank, you can do that the next day.
Yes, exactly. You could do that the next. That's what. Yeah.
I tell you what, I thought of a drawback. The banks don't have any money anymore, do they? Because money doesn't exist anymore. Money isn't real anymore. Obviously, some money exists, but most of the numbers on bank statements don't exist in actual cold hard cash anymore. So if Elon Musk went to the bank and said, I want to draw out all my money, he wouldn't be able to because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in actuality. So when you go to the bank these days, if you want to take out a large sum, and believe me, I don't do that very often, but you have to let them know in advance so that they can get the money.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So that might be a bit of a drawback. Imagine being invisible and trotting off to Nationwide and standing behind, standing behind the woman opening the vault door and looking in, and there's sixpence sat on the side and an IOU from Elon Musk.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Can we go back in time as well and rob a bank in the old days when they had money?
If you were invisible, could you go to National Lottery? No, that's not going to work either. They don't know what the numbers are going to be, do they?
So
there's a
talking
drawback
about cash. My friend was telling me she went on a local ferry, or she and her friend were going on a local ferry from Starcross to Exmouth. And they got to the ferry port, they got on the train, got to the ferry port, and it's only like across the river, like a tiny ferry, a couple of quid type thing. And the ferry would only take cash. Now, how many people carry cash these days?
A lot of people do.
And what's more, there wasn't a cash point anywhere near
in
the whole village that the ferry terminal was in, and they had to go and do something else because they couldn't get any cash.
Yeah, that is
I
a
thought
drawback.
that was turning away business.
Somebody did
quite a
not
lot.
think that through enough.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm segueing a lot, aren't I? Right. Yes, I'm robbing a bank with you anyway. So the next question, number 3. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest? You're not in shot.
Raccoons.
Why?
You only got to look at a raccoon and see how rude they are. You can see it in their face. They've got attitude.
I just need to stop. Just making stuff on the chicken.
Popping off to stir something. Yeah, raccoons have definitely got bad attitude. I'm going to put a picture of a raccoon here where Caroline was a moment ago, and you can look at it and tell me if that doesn't look to you like it's got a terrible attitude, like it would be rude given the chance. I bet raccoons know so many raccoon-based swear words that, I think raccoons are probably the rudest animals. Or cats. Cats are probably quite rude. Cats don't care, do they? Dogs are like, oh my God, have I displeased you? This is terrible. I'm very distressed that you're upset. Cats are like, aha, have I upset you? Good, I meant it. So yeah, cats or raccoons.
I've got 2. Camels. Camels are so grumpy, aren't they? They'd definitely be rude.
Yeah, I think camels only say F off. I don't think they say anything else. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you count it as an animal, but seagulls. They're really snippy. Really snippy.
I think seagulls
They're
are
not
having
nice
such a
even
great
to
time.
each other. They're not nice even
No.
to each other. If they're fighting over a bit of digestive biscuit, they're biting each other and
Yeah.
running at each other.
Yeah.
And
I've often said that I would like to come back as a seagull because I reckon they're having a great time. They are literally living on chips, going wherever they want, and dropping turds on people that they don't like, or whether they like them or not. I think seagulls are living their best lives. I would come back as a seagull, and I would be rude. So yeah, I think that's a fair. Yeah.
Yeah, camels or seagulls for me. I
Yeah.
think you're being a bit mean to raccoons there.
Raccoons just look like they've got attitude. They look sassy.
Do you think? Cows
Maybe
are
cheeky
definitely
rude rather than offensive rude.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that I could go with.
If you are a raccoon, let us know in the description.
No, in the comments, not in the description.
I always say that by mistake. Yeah. If you are a raccoon, let us know in the comments whether you're rude or
Ron
not.
would be quite rude.
Yeah, Ron's definitely rude.
Ron, my cat.
But then he would forget he'd been rude 2 minutes later.
He would. He's very old and he's fast asleep on the floor behind us, and he has demanded food very loudly.
Despite the fact there's food in his
several
bowl.
times. Yes, he
want
eats
this
and then
food.
forgets he's eaten and asks for more food.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Right, next question. What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
Probably just be yourself. I don't know. Have I ever had any really bad advice? I've had lots of unwanted advice.
I've had a lot of bad advice in YouTube comments.
Yeah, I don't know whether it counts as bad advice just because I don't want it. It's probably good advice, but I don't want it in the first place. But yeah, have I ever had any really bad advice? I don't know. I don't think so. About you? Think of anything?
Yes, William once told me that a fence that was electrocuted wasn't electrocuted. He said it's fine because he touched it and it was fine.
Was he wearing
I
rubber
touched
boots?
it. I don't know, I can't remember. But I touched it and got a bloody great shock. Just touch that fence.
If you haven't
Terrible
ever
advice.
grabbed an electric fence, it sort of boings through your body. It's
Yeah.
the most peculiar thing. I'm not suggesting you should go out and try it. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
But it's sort of, you hold it and the first boing, you don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes wong, 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 and you're like, what the hell is that? And then you're like, and then you realise, and you're like, it's awful. Yeah.
Yeah, not nice at all.
Yeah, I've done that by mistake. But I wasn't advised to do it by a psychopathic son.
Yeah. William's my son, I should say. Yeah.
Okay, last one.
The last one is, which fictional character would be the most boring to meet in real life? God, that's stunned us into silence, hasn't it?
I know who I want, but I can't think of the character's name. Oh, the cousin in Pride and Prejudice that asks her to marry him. He is the estate is entailed upon him. Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, he's got to be the most. Does he count as boring? He's repulsive. Does that count as boring?
I don't.
You wouldn't want to spend 2 minutes in a room with him.
No.
He's kind of, I don't know, slimy and yeah. Is that boring? Is slimy boring?
I don't know. Just trying to think. There must be loads.
Or Uncle Colm from Derry Girls.
I haven't watched that.
Does that count as fictional if he's on a? Does it need to
Yes,
be in a book?
yeah. No, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Uncle Colm from Derry Girls, who is just very, very long-winded.
Safi out of Absolutely Fabulous.
Yeah, she's not very interested. She bless her. Long suffering, but not very exciting.
Yeah. She won't be fun at a party, I don't think.
No, she wouldn't be at the party.
No, she
She wouldn't be at the party in the first place.
Her mother would.
Well, if you've enjoyed this, there will be 5 more questions over on Caroline's channel, though I'm probably got to stir something before we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for this one. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
It's, something...
Yes,
and thank you to
I enjoyed
ChatGPT for producing the questions.
Yes, thank you, ChatGPT.
Can we get it to build me a house now?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye-bye.